These are the top fantasy football pickups for week 6. That's right, this is Nesto's Crystal Ball, where every week I look 1 week ahead to see who are going to be the best pickups the following week in fantasy football. At each position, I'll tell you one guy under 50% owned, one guy under 10% owned that you should think about targeting. I don't want to be redundant, so I'm going to just leave off some guys that everyone in the fantasy expert community is saying, or that I mentioned in previous weeks, we're still at that threshold. I want you to be the person that everyone in your league hates because they go to get the hot new waiver pickup in week 6 and you already have them rostered. Historically, that's been me for the 20 plus years I've been playing fantasy football. Ask the comments what percentage of all my leagues I've won. You can see where I rank these guys and everyone else in the league at my site fansports.com with my daily updated rest of season rankings. The obvious pick at quarterback is Jackson Dart. He shouldn't be on waivers in any league. 10 carries for 54 yards, rushing upside Saints this week. Everything's lining up. So my non-obvious pick is Bryce Young, only 18% owned. He has the 2 worst defenses in fantasy football against quarterbacks the next 2 weeks, Miami and then Dallas. I don't like the lack of rushing the last couple of weeks from Bryce, but I do think that the Panthers might change things up. We'll see. He doesn't have many weapons, so he's got to use his legs at some point. Under 10%, I like Dylan Gabriel. He's got a rough matchup this week. Vikings, the second worst defense to go against as a quarterback in fantasy, but then the following 2 weeks, he has top 5 defenses. He has a friendly schedule after this week. If he plays well, could easily be a hot pickup, and Cleveland has some weapons on offense. At running back, the obvious pick is Michael Carter. He could easily be the starting running back on the Cardinals the next 4 to 6 weeks while Trey Benson is out. Everyone's talking about him, so I want to instead highlight Jaden Blue, actually only 11% owned. Has not suited up yet this year, but the upside is there in Dallas for a big play threat, and Miles Sanders looks like he might miss this week. And then under 10% owned, actually at 1% owned, is Trevor Etienne. That's not Travis, but Trevor, younger brother. Chuba Hubbard might be out this week, meaning Rico Dowdle would be the next guy up in Carolina, but Rico Dowdle's been very meh this year. At a certain point, the Panthers might be inclined to see what they have in the rookie, see if he can have some potential. This part cut out earlier, but it was basically just me talking about Eli Iomanor once again. Pick him up. He's still under 50%. Looks like the number 1 receiver on an offense that's going to be playing from behind a lot. So the other guy that I will talk about is Darius Slayton, who seems most likely to get an elevation with the Malik Neighbors injury. He's proven in the past he can be a solid wide receiver. Don't be surprised if he sneaks his way to 1,000 receiving yards this season. He could become Jackson Dart's favorite target. Under 10%, we have a couple options. Isaiah Bond on Cleveland could become Dylan Gabriel's favorite receiver. We don't know, and he'll probably be the number 2 guy with Cedric Tillman on IR. Always upside with rookies just starting to get their first opportunity. Then Luke McCaffrey on Washington could be the number 1 or 2 receiver this week, depending on if Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin are healthy. Can't keep talking about Harold Fannin every single week. He's the tight end to target. He's got the most upside of this group. Then under 10%, we have Mason Taylor on the New York Jets. He has a solid matchup with Dallas this week. This could be a high-scoring game. Got some hype preseason and has been getting better every single week. I'll also quickly add the Packers defense if they were dropped. They have the Bengals in week 6, which is the most fantasy-friendly offense to go against for defenses. Then as a deep cut, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. They go against the Titans, who are the second best offense to go against. And you can mimic that at kicker with Brandon McManus and Daniel Carlson if you really have a lot of extra roster spots. I'm also going to update my streaming rankings on the site. I've gotten a lot of requests for this. This will finally be up later today. fansports.com. Making another video about that. Thank you guys for tuning in, spending a couple of valuable minutes of your day with me. Stay learning. Peace.